So what's going to happen is, in the other case that I talked about the other day, they had to pay out like 200 million because they was found guilty on something else. Um, and then now on this one, on the monopoly one, I think it's called they violated the antitrust law. Them violating the antitrust law, they might have to pay out billions of dollars, which means that now that they found guilty and they gonna have to pay out all these hundreds of millions, meaning cuts are coming. So what would that mean for Live Nation? If Live Nation is taking a hit for billions of dollars, because they already got them for over 200 million already. And what just happened today, if they get hit for billions of dollars, Rock Nation, if they not producing, they going to downsize that to save money, and they go a whole bunch of staff and a whole bunch of people, and now with the venues not being monopolized no more, it's gonna open up the door for a whole bunch of new artists, not necessarily new artists, but a whole bunch of artists that didn't bow down and kiss the ring, that wasn't like, yo, man, I gotta kiss the Rock Nation ring, man. Yo, y'all gotta be like Fat Joe and Jada, man. Yeah, I know I don't like that nigga, man, but Joe, they got all the goddamn venues. We can't tour, we can't eat. What are y'all gonna do? Go and sit this one out, Joe. God is good. Don't worry, Joe. It's gonna be okay. Y'all bugging. I'm going over there. Oh, I want to be a part of the family. I want to tour. I want to do shows. It's the Carter Gina family. We want to be a part of the Rock Nation family. Please hold. You know, I do what I have to do. I bring the whole terror squad. Here you go, Joe. Kiss the ring. Come on, Jay, don't make me do this, man. You want to eat, right? Kiss the ring, Joe. Blake, give him a bottle of Ace of Spades. You want some Deuce? He kissed the ring. Joey cracked. No pun is turning over in his grave right now. So now that this lawsuit is over and the jury done found them guilty, what's going to happen now is you're going to see concerts like you've never seen before. Promoters is jumping up and down for joy. You know what I'm saying? The artists that stuck it out, that didn't go kiss the ring, they gonna be able to get out here and be doing shows again, and it's gonna be good for the hip hop community, not even just the hip hop community, for the music community, because you're gonna see the artists that ain't got to kiss no culo just to get out there and tour. So if the ones that you would like to see that ain't a part of the dark side, or a part of the boule, that been having a hard time getting bookings, you're gonna see them start popping up. Watch, and you're gonna see, like, you know the promoters that survived the game, that's still around, they gonna get their just due for sticking around. You know what I'm saying? And you probably see like other guys come out of retirement because being that the game was being monopolized, they couldn't make the money that they was making. But I'm sure now that this will encourage a lot of promoters or people that would like to invest in concerts, to get back into it now, because now everybody don't have to go to Live Nation. They made Live Nation sell 13 of its amphitheaters, so they really like on their head. So like it's it's a beautiful day in music. Some people wonder, how is it going? This is going to change the game. To me, I think that it's going to open the door for a lot of artists to get out there and tour, because now it was just this little tunnel right here to get to shows, to get out on the road and do shows. Now it just opened up. It's going to open up different lanes. You know what I'm saying? Different tunnels for you to go and eat. It ain't everybody ain't just funneled into Ticketmaster Live Nation uh tunnel. Now it's like this tunnel gonna be built, this or reopened, this one, and like the promoters are the ones to be like, yo, you just seen what happened with Live Nation and Ticketmaster. They found them guilty for not monopoly. Yo, we told y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I need that venue. Now they can say in their uh a venue to say that they can't do it. It's a Live Nation venue. Now no more. It'd be lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. But hold on, let me play this video real quick. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allows is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair uses are use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringement, non-profit educational person use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. What you call a memory. All right, let's check this out.
Subsidiary Ticketmaster have a federal jury has found Live Nation and its subsidiary Ticketmaster have been operating as a monopoly in violation of federal and state laws. It's the long-awaited conclusion to a blockbuster antitrust trial that could have big implications for both the company and the entertainment industry at large. Dozens of states were party to the suit, which argued that Live Nation used its combined control of ticketing platforms and a nationwide network of concert venues to force artists into bad deals and drive up prices for consumers. For more on this, we're joined by Jem Oswald. He's music editor at Variety. Jem, thanks so much for being with us. Before we get into details, just for context here, how big a moment is this for Live Nation, Ticketmaster, and the industry?
It is a big moment, but nobody knows yet what exactly it is going to mean. It is very much a rebuke to the Department of Justice's decision early last month to settle with Live Nation and have them modify some of their policies and pay a few fines. I think it was $260 million, which Live Nation earns in a couple of days.
We should point out that suit was first filed by the Biden administration. That's when the DOJ was involved. When the Trump administration came into office, the DOJ, a few days in, walked away. States decided to continue with that lawsuit, which is how we ended up where we are today. But in retrospect, that settlement that they reached, how does that look right now?
Well, it was never approved by the judge. This is all being decided by one judge, Aaron Sabramian, I think is how you say his name. And he was furious over the settlement because it was basically done in a smoke-filled room. There was
Just for the record, that's the same judge that Puff had in his case in New York.
Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino and approved by the judge. This is all being decided by one judge, Aaron Sabramian, I think is how you say his name. And he was furious over the settlement because it was basically done in a smoke-filled room. There was a deal between DOJ officials and Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino and presumably some other people, and the judge didn't even know. So he was furious over that, and the states decided to continue pushing ahead. Now, does this mean that Live Nation and Ticketmaster are going to be broken up and tickets are going to get a lot cheaper? Absolutely not.
We'll get into more on that and what we could expect ahead in just a moment. But I want to remind folks about what the argument was here behind the monopoly prosecution. So DOJ was basically arguing that they were stifling innovation. They were causing higher prices for consumers. Remind people how they were doing that. What were the actual practices they were alleged to have engaged in?
I mean, there are so many, it's a little hard to begin. The practices that they were really being criticized for really only trickled down to consumers, quite honestly. But it was things like, I got to be careful with the verbs here, like persuading venues to use Ticketmaster, their ticketing service. And Rapino is heard in a recorded phone call kind of threatening a venue by saying, well, if you don't go with Ticketmaster and you go with our competitor, boy, I don't know, we're going to have a hard time routing some of our big artists to your venue. And that venue is Barclays Center in Brooklyn, one of the biggest arenas in the tri-state area.
You see how that works, right? So if you're not going to use Ticketmaster, which is our way of counting the money, then we not letting none of our artists come through your venues. Now, who's they artists? All you got to do is go look at Live Nation and everybody that's signed to Live Nation, everybody that's signed to Rock Nation, right? So if that CEO has that power to tell a venue, yo, if you don't use Ticketmaster, I'm not letting none of our artists come through the Barclays Center, right? What type of power you think Jay-Z got? If he's the head of the urban division of Live Nation.